Mr. Lim Beltran.
Question 2, sir.
Mr. Speaker, the government fully recognizes that not everyone is comfortable using digital tools. The SG Digital Office was established in June 2020 to support the adoption of basic digital tools and skills among less digitally savvy individuals. Residents can visit SG Digital Community Hubs at selected libraries and community centers to receive one-to-one or small group training on skills such as how to use a smartphone, make e-payments, and to learn cybersecurity tips on how to stay safe online. To date, more than 210,000 seniors have been engaged under the Seniors Go Digital program. Additionally, many agencies provide in-person and contact center services to assist those who may have difficulty transacting with government online. The public service has also set up 5 Service SG centers to serve as one-stop physical touchpoints where officers can guide residents through digital transactions and help them complete frequently used government services across 20 agencies. While the government use of digital communications channels has increased, offline channels remain critical. On top of newspaper publications and broadcasts via free-to-air television and radio, many government agencies inform residents of key policy announcements through hard copy letters, via the digital display panels at HDB blocks, and even through house visits. For example, the Silver Generation Office conducts outreach to communicate government policies to residents and guide seniors who need help applying for assistance schemes online. Even as more services digitalize, the government remains committed to maintaining an inclusive society and will continue to ensure that residents can communicate and transact with the government regardless of their digital ability.
Mr. Lim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I want to acknowledge the good work of the government in trying to reach out to the seniors who are not digitally savvy. I recently had a case where a resident wanted to file a complaint with the Community Dispute Resolution Center, and he had to navigate through the entire digital process whereby he needs to lodge a complaint. So I asked one of my volunteers to help him, but at the end of the day, my volunteer says that the court will then communicate with him via email. So may I ask the Minister, what can a resident who is senior, not literate, and who's unable to understand and navigate how to go about applying for government services, what can they do in situations like that? Because he tried to go to court and the services rendered were not quite there. He's left struggling, so perhaps government can assist.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for his question and for his very useful feedback. We recognize that there will be situations like these where residents will feel quite unsure about what to do when they encounter government services that have shifted online substantially. My suggestion to Mr. Lim, the member, is to encourage the resident to call at one of our Service SG centres. The alternative is that through a partnership between IMDA and PA, there are also 38 community centres that offer a scaled-down version of what is available at the Service SG centres. To give the member a sense of the scale that Service SG centres are able to help residents in terms of services with, each one of these Service SG centres, typically will be able to work with the residents to go through more than upwards of 400 types of services offered by the government. Now, the 38 community centres where there is a partnership between IMDA and PA, they also offer upwards of 200 services that they can help the residents to complete. And if all else fails, Mr. Lim is very welcome to email me, and I will certainly find a way to help his resident.
Mr. Dennis Tan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I just jump in on this? I have a very similar case where I have an elderly resident who has difficulty trying to file a claim in to the CDRT. May I humbly suggest that perhaps MCI can work with the courts on how to facilitate lay people, especially seniors with digital issues, difficulties with using digital platforms, to file appropriate claims in the CDRT. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for his comment, and it is certainly a good suggestion. May I also just say that the broader point that Mr. Dennis Tan as well as Mr. Lim Biao Chuan brought up is that even in terms of the way we design services, and as agencies pivot to digital delivery, they should be conscious of the fact that there will be certain segments of the population that will not find it so comfortable to use digital services and to make the non-digital services options still available. That is indeed the philosophy that we're trying to adopt. One very common reference that we can all relate to is the use of the CDC vouchers, for example. Even in terms of how it is being designed, it has in mind how citizens who are not so comfortable using digital tools can be enabled to benefit from the scheme. That's why a non-digital option was retained. And over time, I think we see that fewer and fewer of our citizens need to rely on those non-digital options, but we will obviously have to keep those non-digital options available until such time that most, if not all, of these citizens can migrate to the digital versions.